everybody, and welcome to another Offstreet webinar, or as I like to call it, the podcast with no skip button. If you've been to one of these before and something feels a little different, you're not losing it, don't worry. We reinvested back into the business, and by that I mean we spent $40 and bought some plants and what appears to be a bed sheet. So welcome to the webinar Glow Up. Now, I do have to recommend sticking around until the very last second because at the end of this webinar, we're going to chat about this year's Offstreet User Conference taking place at IPMI in Milwaukee, and you're not going to want to miss it. Now, just a heads up, Kyle and I tried to pack in as much juice as possible into this webinar. It was slotted for only 30 minutes, but that we're super excited that we might go over a few minutes. So there's so much stuff our team has been working on that we want to talk about and are excited to share. But if you have to drop off the session early, no worries. We are recording and the session will be sent out to everyone afterwards. Okay, I think that's enough for pleasantries. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. And by the meat and potatoes, I mean this stud sitting right next to me. Kyle, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kyle Smyth. I'm one of the Kyles here at Offstreet. I'm also the co-founder and chief technology officer. I have the privilege of co-leading this amazing team, and we're very excited to show you a bit what we're working on and what we've got planned for 2026.
I love it. Thanks, Kyle. And honestly, we are fired up over here at Offstreet HQ. The whole team is so incredibly smart, working behind the scenes, those engineers, the product team, support, the whole crew. So you might not see those people on our webinars all the time, but they are the reason all the stuff that we're talking about today actually works. They've been heads down, building, shipping, refining, all to bring you the features that you've already seen and the ones you're about to see. So let's see what they're up to right now. Love it. Absolutely. It looks like a hoot and a holler. I can't wait to head over there after the webinar. Kyle, thanks again so much for agreeing to hang out with me today. I'm sure you're just as eager as everyone to get into the things that we're going to talk about today. It was a crazy 2025, and it's shaping up to be an even crazier 2026. Why don't you paint a picture for all of us where Offstreet is at right now?
Let's do it, Kyle. So looking back at 2025, we accomplished a whole lot of things. We added new report types with the ability to schedule and automatically run and send reports, saving teams time and effort. We launched our first parks integration, that's parking access and revenue control, supporting TIPA gates at several campuses. Events and permits can now have multiple time intervals, which enable us to facilitate multi-day events and general parking permits that are a bit more complicated than a simple start and expiry time. We have a beautiful new dashboard, home screen, with fancy graphs and important information right there for you when you log in. Our parking portal and email templates are now fully brandable, supporting logos and color schemes for your organizations so that parkers know they're at the right place and receiving official information and communication from you. We made a ton of event improvements with the ability to view your event list as a calendar, embed custom instructions, and more. We launched SMS notifications. Now parkers can receive text messages about the status of their parking session, and so many smaller things like adding the ability to create QR codes in the dashboard, making it easier to manage event and location context, assign billing codes, and so much more.
Wow, Kyle. Kind of crazy to think that all of that happened in just last year. It's always great to look back and spread love on all the things that we've created and the amazing things we've already put out there. But let's shift things a bit here now and chat more about what's coming. I have some questions about how the roadmap comes to be, if that's okay.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, first question, how do you decide what makes it onto the roadmap?
Well, it all starts with you. Not you, Kyle. You, everyone on this webinar, the people using our products are the ones that shape the roadmap. Every conversation you have with one of our account managers, every support ticket we receive, all the things you tell us at trade shows, all that information gets sorted and we sift through it, looking for patterns and common themes. We then take a look at what we already have, which of our features are working really well, which ones could use a bit of work, and we use that new information to improve on what we have, what's working, and then what gaps we need filling.
Okay, so my next question then is, how do customer requests influence the priorities?
Well, when we hear something from a customer that just makes a lot of sense, and is relatively easy to implement, those types of requests make their way to the top really fast. So an example of this might be, hey, Offstreet, this workflow I do 100 times an hour could be optimized down to a few clicks. And if I could just do this thing this way, then it would save me hundreds of hours of time. Those are the very high impact and low effort things that we really enjoy doing. But when it comes to larger initiatives, like the ones that how we iterate our existing features and our net new features, we prioritize things that we hear quite often from you. So the features that we're unveiling today all came about because we heard about the gaps in your existing workflows, your pain points in your operations, or they were just like really good ideas and we wanted to do them.
Okay, so we have this roadmap planned out. What if something becomes urgent mid-year?
Well, Kyle, as you know, things change. Things happen and things always take longer than you think they will. But we're pretty confident in our roadmap for the next 3 months or so. But beyond that is where things get a bit more ambiguous and unpredictable. So while we have quarterly targets for all these new initiatives, we might have to delay or table them in favor of something that we deem more urgent at the time. But if there is a new feature that you and your teams were looking forward to getting your hands on and we weren't able to deliver by that date, we'll do our best to communicate that delay and update you with the new targets.
Okay, I'd love to hear that. What product philosophies does Offstreet use when building new products?
Well, Kyle, I could tell you, or I could just show you our 5 product pillars. So as a company, we build our products around 5 core pillars: reliability, flexibility, simplicity, speed, and delight. We want what we build to be dependable, adaptable to all environments, intuitive to use and understand, fast in performance, and make them delightful to use. The pillars are also ordered in terms of importance. And that brings us to the first item in our roadmap: reliability. Reliability is our #1 product pillar, and we have a very high standard for ourselves. We believe that we fell short of that standard in 2025. Now, the internet as a whole experienced a handful of severe issues in 2025 that we luckily managed to avoid. However, we still had several smaller issues that disrupted existing workflows for some of our users, and that's something that we want to address publicly. Even when the impact is small, breaking something that people rely on erodes trust, and that's something that we at Offstreet take very seriously. So one of our major initiatives, internal initiatives this year, is focused on hardening the systems that already power your day-to-day operations. We're investing in deeper monitoring tools and processes to be alerted earlier when issues show up. We're improving our failover capabilities so systems degrade gracefully when something goes wrong, and we're strengthening our ability to detect and resolve issues before they reach you, your teams, and more importantly, your customers. We're very transparent about these types of issues, and you can expect continued strong communication from us when they do happen. And like every technology platform, there will always be issues, but we are committed to dramatically improving how rarely they happen and how quickly that we can respond when they do. Next up is permit types. So if you were here last year, you know this is a project that we unveiled in our 2025 roadmap. It's a huge project and it has taken us a bit longer than we'd like to get it right, but it is closer to being finished than ever before. Our current Offstreet users will know that we have 2 different mechanisms to create a parking permit. We have our registration settings module and our events module. Looking back to our product pillars, registrations are very flexible, but they are not simple. Events are simple to configure, but not flexible enough for all parking concerns. So Kyle, how do you decide if you need to make a registration setting or an event?
Good question. I'm a little embarrassed to answer this, but I actually don't know.
Exactly right, Kyle. It's confusing. And rather than support 2 different products that ultimately produce the same thing, a parking permit, we decided to combine the best of both products into what we're calling a permit type. Permit types are flexible for every possible parking configuration that you can think of, but are done very simply. They're very simple and they're very easy to understand and use. We think that we've finally done it and we've got a delightful experience for you. But first, we'll look at what you can do today and then I'll show you where we're going. This short video walks through creating a complex event, which is built upon our new parking permit type platform, and it is in use today, powering thousands of campus parking events.
Let's build a complex event. Multi-day, custom pickup and drop-off windows, and advanced time controls down to the interval. Create options with capacity limits and precise GPS coordinates for each lot. Duplicate it instantly to create a second option, keeping the same time and location settings, or changing it up if that's what you need. Allow multiple plates per permit, perfect for shared pickup. And attach files, like a campus map, directly to the event. Guests select their week, add their plates, and register in seconds. A confirmation delivered directly to their inbox. When events get complex, Offstreet gets powerful. Rethink processes, redefine experiences.
The video's fast, but that just demonstrates how fast and easy it is to set up a parking event, a very complex parking event in Offstreet. So moving ahead, what's coming next for permit types? This is what I'm very excited about, is our new advanced time rules editor, launching very soon. This will give you all the flexibility of a registration settings rules engines in a much more delightful user interface. It allows you to get very granular with parking permit times for when you need something more than simple start and expiry time. Do you want the parking time to start or end on a certain day of the week, like a Wednesday? It can do that. Do you want the user to pick a date and time? It can do that. Do you want the user to pick a date but not a time and be limited to a maximum number of days and have the time round up to the nearest hour and always end on a Wednesday? Well, it can do that too. There are literally thousands of possible time configurations that can be set up with this wizard. It's been a long time coming, and we are so excited for you to use it and see what types of parking permits that you can come up with. After the advanced time rules launch, we plan to bring over existing registration setting functionality and flexibility for registration codes and pricing into permit types. Our goal is to have full feature parity, meaning you can do everything with permit types that you can already do with registration settings by the end of Q2. From there, we can add very new and very exciting features such as multi-permit basket and checkout experience, and expand on the code and pricing options available. So Kyle, can you think of any events that might benefit from being able to purchase multiple parking permits at once?
Game day, baby.
You're absolutely right, Kyle. You'll be able to have option to buy a tailgate parking pass pregame, a regular parking pass, or both. We're imagining a checkout experience where your customers could buy parking permits for the entire football season, or just the games they plan on attending, and all happen in a single transaction. So Kyle, do you know what the first thing it says when you navigate to the website www.offstreet.com?
So I'm on the marketing team and I touch the website every day. So I do know the answer to this question. It says the #1 solution for guest and event parking.
Exactly, Kyle. You know, when I read that, I'm reminded of a famous quote. The great American philosopher Beyonce once said, "I worked hard to get here, and I'm gonna have to work even harder to stay here."
Sure.
At Offstreet, we think like Beyonce. That's why we're making running parking events with Offstreet even better. First, we're automating event requests with custom standardized forms. Submissions go into a request dashboard, which are reviewed by your team. If approved, the system auto-generates an event populated with that request data. Imagine a custom Google form, but instead of going to Google, it goes right into Offstreet. When running a successful event on campus, often there's more to that event than just the parking. There are resources like signage, barricades, A-frame staffing, and everyone's favorite, porta potties. All of these have costs associated to them. Soon you'll be able to track and manage those additional resources in Offstreet for an event. And finally, you'll have the ability to generate invoices directly in Offstreet for actual permit usage, as well as any of the additional resources that were provisioned for the event. Event requests and resourcing are launching very soon. They're being tested right now, and invoicing is just around the corner, hopefully by Q3.
Awesome. So next we want to show you something we're really excited about. This short video walks through how event automation works inside Offstreet and how it can help your team streamline setup, reduce manual work, and create a smoother experience for your campus partners. As you watch, think about the events you're managing today and where automation could save you time.
Let's do
A
it.
department submits an event parking request, and you're notified instantly. You can manage everything from one centralized dashboard, approve the request, update the status, and automatically generate a live event link in seconds. Guests enter their plate, click park, and get instant confirmation, plus one-click directions in Google Maps. Add billable resources like signage, attendance, lot rentals, or discounts, all tied directly to the event. When it's over, receive a full usage and revenue report automatically. Send pre-filled event details to your host in one click with replies routed directly to you. For the first time, event and guest parking. Fully automated, fully centralized. Rethink processes, redefine experiences.
Our next item that's coming in 2026 is portal user accounts. It's hard to believe that Offstreet is almost 10 years old, and there still isn't the ability for a parker to create an account. Do you know why that is, Kyle?
Convenience?
You're absolutely right. Being forced to sign up and log into an account is a point of friction that we have avoided, and we believe it's one of the reasons that Offstreet is the #1 solution for guest and event parking. With Offstreet, there's no app to download, no account to sign in, just simple, easy, and fast. But what about going beyond guests? What about return parkers? What about long-term parkers? Well, in Q2 of this year, parkers will be able to optionally create accounts. These accounts will allow users to store their vehicles and payment information for faster and more seamless parking sessions. But this also opens up the door to do some more exciting things. For enterprise and institutional customers, such as university campuses, it means we can support single sign-on login. With that, you'll be able to classify users, controlling which permit types they can or cannot purchase. Classification can be done on something as simple as an email address or email domain, or as advanced as an employee's department or job code. This enables customer management tools to securely store and manage parker information and the parker's parking history with you. Next up is long-term permits.
Wait a minute, Kyle. I'm pretty sure you can already create monthly or even longer term permits in Offstreet. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. You are right again, and you are on fire today, Kyle. But we're going further than that. In Q2, parkers are going to be able to self-serve recurring monthly or even longer permits directly in the parking portal. Once logged in with their brand new user account, of course. This includes support for setting recurring pricing, automated monthly billing, directly paid by the parker or through another internal system like payroll deduction. We'll support all the little complexities with this process, such as proration when permits are started, change mid-cycle, or a user is reclassified at any point in time. We will have the flexibility of admin-defined grace periods in the case of non-payment, and many more reporting and support tools that you need to manage your operations with confidence. And our final large initiative for 2026 is our user and security group overhaul. As our customers grow their Offstreet use with their teams and across departments, managing access inside the platform has gotten a little more complex and a lot more tedious. Currently, to use some of the more advanced Offstreet features, users need to be assigned admin level permissions. This is not ideal, especially for security conscious teams and organizations with a lot of personnel changes. So later this year, we're introducing more granular access controls, which allow administrators to define roles and permission with much greater precision. But our goal here is to keep things simple on the surface and powerful under the hood. We're improving permission descriptions, adding better user management tools, and introducing a real-time permission tester so that admins can see exactly what a security role can and cannot do before assigning it to a user. Enterprise single sign-on is on our radar as well. If that's something that has perked your ears up, get in touch with us. We'd love to learn about how that could best serve you and your team. So all of this gives teams more confidence in how access is managed across their organization.
Of course. Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. Now it's time we're going to do something a little more fun here. I'm going to call it a minute to win it, rapid fire kind of thing. Kyle, I'm going to ask you to share all of the other new things coming this year, and I'm going to put a minute timer on. Everyone can see. So yeah, please share with us in less than a minute all the other new things coming this year. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so we've got a lot that wasn't covered here. I'll do my best. The first thing I have to mention is WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. The American for Disabilities Act standard is coming into effect in April. We will be ready. Auto start permits is something that's come up a few times with our enforcement partners. So in scenarios where there's fixed LPR, we'll be able to auto start a parking session when that vehicle arrives and leaves, which makes it much more convenient for the driver. We're looking at post-payment and partial payment validations. So pay and then enter a code to get a reduced rate, or perhaps your first hour might be free. We're looking at additional payment facilitator integrations. We support Stripe and Elevon coming soon, and we're exploring Authorize.net, WorldPay, and some others as well. With permits, we want to add some discounting and coupon options there. More parks integrations. We want to explore like T2 and I think, okay.
Time is up.
Time's up. Okay, last one I want to say, we can't forget reporting. Reporting. We want to give you more tools and more ways to access your data and improve your operation and things like that. That's all we got.
It was a little over a minute, but I'll give it to you. Good job.
And I just want to shout out Mike Hamill in the chat, just asked, is there any idea when shed reporting will be coming? We're looking at improving our reporting throughout the year. I can't comment on specific shared reporting, but that's something that's on our radar, and we'll get that for sure to you this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. And just on that note, we're actually going to get into our Q&A period here. So if you do have questions, please drop those in the Q&A function. We would love to answer those for you guys. If you can't find the Q&A function, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll hopefully see them, but no promises there. But definitely use that Q&A function. So let's get into these burning questions from our attendees. The first one I see is from Mark DeJong. He says, with more emphasis on permitting, will Offstreet be investing in more development with enforcement software APIs? Additional information like stall numbers, permit times, etc., will be useful.
Great question, Mark. So short answer there is yes. Long answer is it depends. We're open to deeper investing in enforcement integration APIs as much as we can. Sometimes we are limited by what our enforcement partners can accommodate, but when they can accommodate things like stall numbers, permit times, etc., we'd be happy to send those down the wire to them.
Awesome. Kyle, another question just came in. Joe is wondering, does the expanded user access include the ability for a permit holder within a tenant to manage their own plate?
Kind of. So when it comes to the permit holder, with the user accounts piece, we're adding the ability for those users to self-serve and manage their own plates, if you choose to. So on that side of on the portal side of the operation, yes. On the dashboard admin side, we don't really tie dashboard users to parking permits. They're dashboard users as like a tenant. However, I will interpret your question another way. In a tenant's, if you have a tenant set up and the tenants are managing a list of plates, yes, then that expanded user access would then be able to restrict a tenant user to only manage their tenants' plates that are assigned to, or sorry, permits that are assigned to that tenant. Yes.
Good question, Joe. I see one in the chat from Cristobal. Can the invoices generated be sent to the AP department so that payables can generate a institutional invoice and sent on a company letterhead, basically an invoice request to AP? I see Emma might have answered it there.
Yeah, so Emma's done a pretty good job of answering it there. I'll just add, our invoicing feature is still currently in discovery before we get into actual development. So that's something that we can definitely take a look at as we learn more about the needs and desires of your organization and how best our invoice feature can support them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good question there as well. While we're waiting for more to roll into through the Q&A here, I have a question for you, Kyle, if you don't mind me asking. As the other Kyle on this call, what is the one thing you're personally most excited about looking forward over this roadmap for the next year, whatever it is?
Yeah, well, thanks for the question, Kyle. I am most excited for permit types. It's been a long time coming. It's been a whole lot of work that we've had to do over the last year. And that project really is the foundation of everything. And we're so close to having that solid foundation to then build upon. When we're able to fully launch permit types and retire registration settings, that's when we can start building new and interesting and innovative things. We'll be able to kind of enable our users to start offering permits that software couldn't solve before, which I'm really excited for.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds really exciting to me too. Again, if anyone does have questions that pop up later on as we're going through this, we're kind of getting near the end here. Feel free to drop those in the Q&A. If not, send them to us afterwards. We will make sure to answer you. But like I teased in the beginning of this webinar, we are ready to pre-launch this year's user conference. Take a look at what you'll be missing if you decide to skip this year. How exciting. I love all those pictures. That's just a little glimpse into what our user conference looks like from a camera's lens. If you want to see what else it can kind of turn into, make sure you come on by. If you are interested in coming or want more information, let us know in the poll, which will be popping up on your page right now. It's going to ask you if you're interested in joining us this year at the Offstreet User Conference. It's going to say, yes, I'll be there. Maybe you're a maybe, or maybe you're going to say, no, I don't like fun. So
Good question.
make sure you answer that. I also see that another question came in from Ryan, so we'll make sure to answer that right now. He is asking, will current tenant registration settings carry over to the new permit types?
Thanks for the question, Ryan. Absolutely. Our plan is to have a complete and safe migration from registration settings to permit types. So not only will all the current setups that you have under registration settings be replicated in permit types, we're also going to bring over all of the registrations as well that have happened since the beginning of Offstreet's inception, so that any reporting and any reconciliation is all super smooth for you. So and we hope to do that all automatically, so you don't notice a thing. It all works in the background.
Okay, well, now that is all the fun, I guess, that we have for everyone today. Thanks for sticking around with us, and thank you, Kyle, for being here today and sharing the roadmap and the product love with us. I'm sure everyone is excited to see the stuff out in the wild. And if you want to get in touch with me or someone from the team, here's some contact information on the page that you can use. So from Kyle
And Kyle.
and Offstreet, have a good one.